Money is a big deal in marriage. I think most people know that. I feel like I've heard sex and money are like two of the major contributors to divorce, which just speaks to, I think, how important they are. And it's not about the amount of money. Like, so much of it is our emotional relationship to money.
Discipline is the word when it comes to finances. When it comes to money, household expenses, discipline, discipline, discipline.
The way that a couple manages their budget, essentially manages their finances, will be very telling and insightful as how they manage other things. It's not just the money. It might be their parenting. It might be their professional life. It might be their goals. So understanding what works with a partnership, what works with, the different individuals within that marriage or within that couple is very important, and it goes a long way into creating a plan that works, a sustainable plan that works.
Well, actually, I was just talking to my sister about this. She's dating right now, but I'm like, you're in a perfect position where you don't have kids yet, you're not married yet, pay off any debt that you can beforehand. She just finished paying off her student loans. I was like, perfect. Next, do you have any credit card debt? And you go through that. But I think, as each individual prior to getting married, work on, that's part of the thing, that's a gift you can give to your future spouse. Getting rid of as much debt as possible. And if you need to change your spending habits or whatever, then make that step one.
Set a budget and stick to it. Stay away from credit cards. If you need a credit card to buy it, 90% of the time you don't need it. And I mean, it's just being disciplined and really evaluating, do I really need this? If I don't have the money for it, then I don't.
Then I don't need it.
Yeah.
Stay as debt-free as humanly possible. There are good reasons to go into debt. The purchase of a home, an education, there are things that there's a good return on your investment. But generally, I find that debt can be a crushing third member of the relationship, particularly when people are not in agreement about how financial resources are to be used.
That whole finance piece in a marriage, that starts a lot of arguments. A lot of people going to debt because they're not on the same page, getting into
having a lot of conversations.
Or
one person trying to impress typically the man trying to impress the woman by taking her out all these dates or using a credit card to do all those things that she's not knowing, then that kind of thing, that could, it may seem, cute at first, but then when you're like, oh no, we have to now pay for this, that's not good. So get creative for dates.
Well, I think one of the important things when managing a budget, from the perspective of a couple, you don't necessarily have to be handling everything together so much as to be roughly okay with the same goals. For instance, in our case, I manage our budget, but we have regular talks about where we want to be, where we stand in relation to our budget, and just making sure that we're on track to reach those goals. But, as far as the minute detail, most of that would fall to, one person or the other. I think it kind of falls down to marriage being a partnership. You're sharing the responsibilities.
Live within your means. I know that's a cliche, but, it's an axiom that is absolutely true. And what I've tried to do over the last two homes we've owned is I always pay extra on my mortgage to try to, get that mortgage amount lower faster. So
the most important is when you retire, your income changes completely. Out of the 100% that you were getting, you're probably getting 40% now. So that adjustment takes time. But you have to adjust yourself. You cannot be spending the same amount of money when you were working when your income dropped. And that's, a lot of people uses their home like a bank account. Oh, let's refinance and pull money out, paid all the credit cards. But then you owe more money, and then your payment keeps growing. And sometimes your payment, when it was $1,500, now it's $3,000. Wait a minute, how am I going to pay $3,000? So that's important for me.
The idea is to get into retirement with with not as many cash needs as you had when you were working. In other words, if you can pay your house off before you retire, if you can whatever, so that you're just on low pro when it comes to expenses.
One other piece of advice that I think really related to us having a strong, I think just financial trust and even just building what we had, honestly, is tithing and giving to causes that we believe in, right? Like when we started our marriage, I was very much like, all right, we're paying off your debt. We don't have money. We're not making money every month. We're putting money towards like your debt. And there was this, and she challenged me on that, right? Like the person entering into the relationship with the debt was like, no, I still want to give money to causes, whether it be the church or otherwise, that we believe in that are making the world a better place.
Which was a statement of trusting God with that money.